Hello beautiful person, welcome back to the channel. My name is Shu and today we are going to be covering 4 ways to achieve ridiculously wonderful drum bounces like Wonder Girl. So I'm going to go over what we're going to do real quick and then we can jump into it. So we're going to talk a little bit about loop selection because I think that's important for Wonder Girl style in particular, but then for all producers in general. Then step 1 will be knowing how to select hard-hitting samples, knowing the right types of samples to go for Wonder Girl's specific type of sound, because it's very different from the traditional type of, drum selection that you would go for. Step 2 is learning how to set up a traditional bounce and then build upon that the way Wonder Girl does. Step 3 is learning how to layer live drums the way Wonder Girl does, and we'll go through a really dope selection of live drums that you can use and access for free in the 14 drum kit. I'll just let you know right now, link in the description below, first link in the description below. And then step number 4 is going to be learning how to balance the mix on the percussive side in order to get the most powerful sound possible. And we're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna do a lot of great things today. So the only other thing I wanna say is, again, 14 drum kit, first link in the description below, get it. That's pretty much what we're gonna be working from today. It's free and it comes with a bunch of other gifts and it's just awesome. Get it. And the only other kit that's going to be better than that on the entire internet, in the internet producers, in the trap internet producer sphere, is going to be the Centerfold drum kit. You can also find that down below. And then one last thing, I brought back the merch. For now, only the wristbands are back. So I don't know if you can see that. It's a lot of good stuff. We've got buttons, stickers, wristbands, and it comes with the fitness guide that I made. It's actually free as long as you cover shipping. So yeah, check that out. Link below. And yeah, let's get into it. Also, shout out Cash Kofi. I love that man. Thank you so much. Okay, great. So I've got this really dope loop that I got from Discord from a producer named Morty the Bee. So I'll just play that really quickly. He snapped on this, bro. This is groovy. Using loops and knowing how to pick good loops is a very important part of being like a competent, good producer. It's so important. That being said, if you want access to good loops, check out my Discord, free. We've got the best sample makers in there, I'm not gonna lie. So now we can get started with step number 1, which is just gonna be using hard-hitting samples. And again, 14 drum kit is gonna be your best friend. So you wanna use very hard-hitting stuff. So like, that's more so like a rack kick, stuff like that is not the types of kick sounds you wanna use, right? So that's important to cover in step 1 before moving on to actually developing the bounce. I like this. Okay, cool. We probably won't need all of these, but just grabbing some stuff that I like, and then we'll grab a few more sounds, and that'll probably be everything I need that's not a hat or an 808. So the last couple of heavy sounds that I'm gonna get are gonna be from the Centerfold drum kit, and really the main one is just this God kick. You guys already know by now. It's my favorite kick right now. It's hard hitting. It covers all those aspects that I was just talking about in terms of being like a hard hitting kick. So now we can get into step number 2, which is just developing a very traditional drum bounce. So the thing that I think a lot of people don't understand about Wonder Girl, she's a very competent musician from start to finish. Like, she knows how to engineer, she knows how to mix, she knows how to do music theory. She's setting up her drums as if she is a drummer. So she's following very traditional bounces, and that's why her stuff sounds so groovy but unique at the same time. Shout out to the person who explained to me that this bounce that I've been working with is called like hitting it on the upbeat, I think, before going back to the downbeat, or I forgot how they explained it. I'll toss it up on the screen. So while we're here, let's actually come back to Centerfold. Haven't dropped Alpha 3, but you already know, Sorcerer's Stone preset pack. Gonna put this on the master so we can get some clipping going. Good stuff. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Okay, cool. And then you already know, like, this is going to be pretty standard. Just drop don't do anything complicated. I'm pretty sure I don't have to say that at this point, but just layer in that snare normal. It's just more important to pick a good sound with good texture. Wonder Girl would use a snare more so like this. It's just different. You just have to notice that it's different. Southside might use something, and I think I literally have a snare in here called Southside. Here we go. Something like that. So it's just being able to pay attention to the sounds and pick things that are similar to what you're trying to emulate is like so important. So get the 14 drum kit if you like Southside, Wonder Girl, or Metro Boomin. That's what my entire sound is based around for the most part. So I've got sounds, Centerfold drum kit, and 14 drum kit. Hang on, let me switch my chair. Jesus Christ. I thought I would like this chair more, but I still like the other one more. Billion times better. Fuck, nothing like a good chair to fucking make a producer hit that Super Saiyan level, bro. Anyway. My boy snapped on this, bro. This loop it got me feeling like too groovy this morning, bro. Wait, it's either the coffee or the loop, and I drink coffee every morning, bro. I don't feel like this. So something interesting about Wonder Girl's sound is that she, even though she really doesn't do just the basic two-step ever anymore, honestly, she never really did. She would do a basic two-step, but then she's so unique with the way she sets up her drum bounce that like the two-step would never sound like a basic two-step. And she would actually be forced to do a two-step because if she didn't, everything else would sound too complicated. And then we can add our pace keeper with the basic two-step. So what we'll do, we'll clone it, boom. So root note is gonna be your best friend, bro. It doesn't matter what vibe you're doing. And I think Wonder Girl is actually a pro at knowing how to take advantage of using the root note. So it's relevant no matter what you're doing. Okay, I think we got it now, bro. We'll tweak it maybe like one more time, but I think I like that bounce. So step 3 is gonna be layering things with live sounds. So tons of ways to do this. Let's go over 2 of the simplest and easiest ways. Using live hats, so live sounding open hats really, but you could also do it with live sounding hi-hats, which I'll try to not force in here, but get in here if it makes sense. And then the other one is more live sounding snares, which I did already do, but we'll see if we can fit in one more just for demonstration's sake. But let me see if I can find the actual live sounding snare that we used. I think it was this one. Right, just not anything that's even remotely traditionally trap sounding. So let's see if we can find some live hats in the 14 drum kit. Perfect. There we go. Some more live hats. I think that's pretty much all we need. So step 4, and this is going to be the final step, is balancing the mix. And this is so important. This is so important. So we're going to turn off the melody and we're going to get started with this process. We're going to just work through it right now. This is leveling the mix. And you're going to want the kick to be significantly louder than the 808. But 808 is going to be the second loudest thing in your beat. Now, before we do anything, we're going to hit the console EQ on every sound that is not the 808 or the kick. I'll do a little bit of EQ here. I usually don't mind the low grumble, but it's just because I want things to be super clean and powerful today in this particular mix. I'm gonna hit a 48 decibel slope on a high pass, and I'm just gonna EQ out everything that I know is absolutely unnecessary, which tends to be anything under, 20-ish hertz. So I know it's already going to be cleaner just from that, and it's going to benefit from that. And then what I'll do is roll off some of that warmth because it's just a little too much, right? Just a little bit. I still want it to be mainly in the center. Stereoize that just a little bit so that we can take this one and just pan it the other way. Just intuitively, that's what I do to start. If the leveling does not make sense, check out the mixing guide below because it will explain it in way more detail. Okay, cool. Now we can take everything and route it to a bus. Y'all already know what we're finna do here. we can talk a little bit about melody mixing. And I think the most important thing to touch on, besides the fact that, again, picking a good sample is important, and like knowing what sample maker you're working with is important, because the worst thing is to get a sample that you then have to mix all to hell because your sample maker doesn't know what they're doing, right? So sample selection is important. Wonder Girl is good at, like, for one, taking low end out of the melody that is not going to, so that it doesn't get in the way of that low end, which is like one of the most important parts of her production. Honestly, a really good way to do that is just to use this radio EQ right here. Like, for real. Like, we went way past that fundamental character, but that's something she's gonna do because her melodies tend to be more ambient for that reason. Delay is gonna help with ambience, and then reverb is really, really what we want. Can roll off some of the dirt that got reintroduced. So again, if you want to learn that last step in way more detail, like especially the depth of mixing, it would take way too long for me to explain it. The way I know it would take way too long for me to explain it is because I have like a full like 3-hour workshop for members on my channel, and I still have to like talk through concepts with them because like it's just too difficult. It's not too difficult, but there's just like a lot of like wrapping your head around the concept that you have to do in order to really, really get mixing to stick and be like a powerful skill for you. So if you do want to learn that on a deeper level more quickly and be able to begin to use it intuitively in your music, consider becoming a channel member, because not only are you going to get access to all the workshops immediately, you'll get to like actually participate in the workshops and ask questions, whereas everybody's invited to the workshops, but only members can ask questions and stuff like that. And there's a whole bunch of other members perks. So, but that is our full whole setup. So let's talk through it one more time. The first and kind of primordial thing to wrap your head around is using samples is good. The best producers are using samples. They'll still make stuff from scratch, but like no competent, successful musician is averse to collaboration. So that's a very important thing to understand. And then step one, use hard-hitting samples. 14 drum kit, centerfold drum kit, get them. Step two is developing a traditional bounce. Please consider checking out those drum bounce guides. It's very, very important to understand concepts like upbeat, downbeat, drum syncopation, because that's going to allow you to repeat successful things in your production. Step three is layering live sounds. Just get good at sound selection. Understand what producers you like are doing and try to emulate them. Don't reinvent the wheel. Dumb people try to reinvent the wheel instead of just using the goddamn wheel, right? And then step four is balancing all your drum sounds and everything with good mixing. Doesn't matter what you do if it doesn't sound good coming out of the speakers, right? So if you're interested in learning more about that, again, check out the memberships down below. There's a whole bunch of good stuff that comes with that as well. So other than that, get the centerfold drum kit, get some merch, man. You know what I'm saying? We're almost out of those bundles. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you in the next one. I love you so much. Peace.